I do want to talk about your book, Be Useful, 7 Tools for Life, because I read this book yesterday, and there's so much in here that, as I said, if I had just seen your action movies over the years, especially in the early ones, I would think, well, this man, he's a great action star. But then, as you started to make other movies, and I got to interview you and be around you a couple of times, I saw how hilarious you are, how funny you are naturally, and it's in you. I thought, okay, there's more in this book that comes out that I never imagined. For example, you say that, and I would have thought, if you have to define the self-made man in Hollywood, it would be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You come from a very poor part of Austria. You grew up no running water, and you didn't speak the language, and you came here and you managed to not only be a bodybuilding champion, but a biggest movie star in the world and conquer politics. You do all these things, and you overcome all these challenges. And in your book, you say, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me Schnitzel. You can call me Arnie. Do not call me a self-made man. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's I know that people, when they call me a self-made man, it's a compliment. They mean it as a compliment. But I also at the same time want to make it clear that a self-made man means that there was no one that helped me, that I made myself, which is not true. Mm-hmm. I mean, my parents helped me, my father, my mother, my teachers helped me, my coaches helped me. I had all these bodybuilding coaches and weightlifting coaches that helped me. I had Joe Weider, who was kind of like the king of bodybuilding and fitness in America, bring me to America and make my dream become a reality. Got me an apartment when I came to America, got me some money so I could get started here and become the greatest bodybuilder of all time. It was, the agents and the producers that helped me to get then into movies. Mm-hmm. And I remember 5.8 million people voted for me to become governor of California. How can I say I made myself governor?
Right.
And so it's not a dictatorship or anything like that. So I think that I got the help from millions and millions of people. And I want to have people understand that I know that I'm a product of a lot of help. Mm-hmm. Because that's important to each one of us to know that we're a product of a lot of help, because that makes you then go and feel responsible also to go out and help other people. Because a lot of young people and people that are helpless, people that are poor, people that don't know how to make the next move, to help them.
Yeah.
Because we were helped, so let's help them. So this is what made me an enthusiastic kind of public servant, someone that got involved very enthusiastically with Special Olympics in the beginning in the 70s and create weightlifting for Special Olympians and become the international coach for them. That's what got me involved in the President's Council on Fitness and travel through all 50 states and give something back and promote health and fitness. I started after-school programs, and then eventually I ran for governor when everyone said, Arnold, you're insane. Because you're going to miss out on 2 movies a year, which you make $20 million a movie. You're missing out on all that money for becoming governor. Are you crazy? And I tell people, I said, look, every dollar that I made was because of America. I became rich and famous because of America, not because of Austria, not because of Germany or any other place, America. So it's natural for me to want to give something back. So it doesn't bother me at all not to go and make movies for a few years.
The other surprise in this book is you talk a lot about failure, and it really resonated with me because I am very aware of all the things that have gone you could perceive as going wrong in my life at different points. And then I later on look at them as kind of strange gifts, and I realize how much they help me. You make this point about bodybuilding, which is built into the fabric of bodybuilding is failure, because you need to grow the muscle. You need to push it to the point of absolute failure, recover, then add more weights, and you need to push it to failure again. So it's in a weird way, bodybuilding is repetitive failure over and over and over again, which I had never really thought about.
Yeah, and that is why I tell people that what makes you sometimes not be successful is your fear of failure. And so as soon as you become kind of friends with failure, and you say to yourself, wait a minute, Michael Jordan talks about he became the greatest basketball player because he missed his 5,000 shots, and he screwed up 280 some games, and all of this, and that's what made him the greatest basketball player. So it's failure where we learn really the most. And in bodybuilding, it's built in that you do the exercise, like you say, until you fail. In weightlifting, you go and lift until you fail, because it's the only way you know how much you can lift is if you go all out and always lift beyond of what you can lift, and then you know exactly what you can do. I missed the 500-pound bench press at least 10 times in different competitions, but the 11th time I did it. So I didn't feel like I was a failure. I just felt like I have to train more. And so I think the key thing is to tell people, don't be afraid of failure, because it makes you kind of like freeze and not make a move forward. Be friends with that and understand that from failure we can learn more. And therefore, let's go all out and just feel free of that and not be worried and afraid all the time.
I also didn't realize just how much, there are all these, cliches, no pain, no gain. And you talk about that. You say, look, there's a lot of cliches out there, but here's the reality of it. But when you talk about lifting and the pain that's involved, there's real pain involved. That's why I never got into professional bodybuilding.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, what do you mean?
I'm sorry. No, keep going.
I have the frame for it. I have the natural genetic disposition for
absolutely.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
See, there's someone here who knows who I think we should respect.
Yeah, he seemed very genuine when he said
what kind of mirrors do you use?
I got them from a circus, Arnold. Why do you ask? They were free, and I love them. I have a massive chest. Whenever I look at, then I see these other mirrors, and I spit on them. But it's that you became comfortable with pain, and you were kind of almost. It almost sounds like you were addicted to, not in a bad way, but so addicted to working out. I love this section of the book. That as a young man, 15, 16 years old, you broke into a gym because it wasn't open on the weekend and you wanted to work out. Now, I've broken out of gyms. I have never broken into a gym. That intensity was always there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, our weightlifting club was in a stadium. And so on the weekends, there were always games, soccer games, because it was underneath the stadium. And so you were not allowed to go in underneath where the wrestling club was, where the boxing club was, the weightlifting club and all that, because it was for the soccer players. And so I had to kind of sneak in. So what I did on Friday night was I opened the latch of the window on top. Mm-hmm. And so that from the outside I can open up the window and then crawl in. And sometimes, one time I forgot to open it, and I just broke the window, and I climbed into the back, and then I worked out for hours and hours and hours. It was like absolute heaven. But what is important here is to recognize that your brain and your mind is no different than the muscle. So the muscle grows by pushing it and going through pain and through discomfort. Well, the same is with your head. Mm-hmm. That if you really want to grow as a person and if you want to get tough, you got to go through pain. You should not shy away. And this is a lot of times with today's youth. When they talk about, the boys are having a problem, the girls having a problem, this is a problem, there's a problem. Everyone has a problem. It's like they're getting softer. Mm-hmm. And they're not willing anymore to kind of take themselves through this pain period and through the discomfort. Everyone wants to be in comfort. Kids want to sleep in to 7, 8 o'clock at night. When I sleep longer than 6 o'clock, I already hear my father's voice, who has been dead for more than 50 years. But I still hear his voice. Arnold, be useful. Mm-hmm. Because that's what my dad always said. And he always would say, he says, do you think this country was built by people sleeping in? No, this country was built by people that were able to work hard, to work their ass off, and to go through torture, and to go through pain, and to do all of that. And so that's what motivates me. because I don't want to go and lie around and live in comfort. Yeah, when you go on vacation, of course, when we go skiing, I go to Sun Valley, yeah, then I live in comfort. I sit out in the jacuzzi after skiing and all that stuff. But I mean, throughout the year, it's all about, okay, we got to go and do something.
Right.
Move the things forward. And if I don't have enough to do with my own work, then you do some stuff for the community.
Yeah.
So there's always things to do. And so this is what I'm trying to teach people, is to make this life rich.
Yeah.
Not to exist, but to live. And living means really to go all out 24 hours a day. Yes, you sleep 6 hours a day, or if you need 7 hours, so be it. But the rest of the time, there's so much that we can do.
Well, I need 15 hours of sleep. 15 hours.
No, poor baby.
Yeah. And then I need to sit in a bath of heavy cream.
How many?
Sona, you remember, you just have to pour the cream into the tub.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to change diapers during the night?
And he needs his
Sometimes
bottle.
you can, yeah.